Hi Sagittarius, happiest now. Hope you're doing good. Hope your family's doing good. Hope your job's doing good. Okay, so yeah, welcome to the space, whether you're new or returning. You're recorded on the same day as Cancer. If that's a significant part of your chart, that could be a helpful extension reading. Maybe some extra messages to help you go along. I feel as if this time frame would be very good for you to pay attention to time. Maybe how much time you're spending on X, Y, and Z. How much energy are you putting into X, Y, and Z? I also feel as if there's a place where you can be of great support in this time. A place of gentle care. So remember that your words are very strong and you are very powerful. And when you can truly just sit and feel into what someone else is going through and feel empathy and sympathy for that, but not necessarily like absorb it, like you have a good spiritual mental boundary, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to understand you and I'm here for you, but I'm not going to absorb it, right? And there could be someone that's close to you that definitely needs that. There's somebody again, or a place. There's people or a particular person that really needs your support right now. So please remember that sometimes the best thing in ways of helping other people is to just listen quietly. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Support, silent support. It's not that your words don't matter, but it's. Do I have dirt in my face? I was in the garden. It's okay, baby. No. Come here. Zumi. Come here. Don't worry, it won't hurt you. She's scared of gunshots. Hi. You want to come here? It's okay. Come on. Just a minute. Good girl. Okay. Did that feel like a long time? Okay, Sagittarius, let's see. Yeah. 6 of Wands and channeling. Wow. You can be very intuitive, right? Your mind is so big and expansive, right? It's okay, baby. Remember, I feel like it's giving the same, good girl. It's giving the same example of, okay, somebody else is scared, right? Or someone else is going through something. And you can observe that, right? This could even be at work for some of you. Like, you can observe what's going on. You may even be able to feel into it. I feel like your intuitive nature is very strong in this time. But you want to make sure that you have, what did we say? It's like good boundaries, right? You want to have good boundaries because... Do you want to go in, Zumi? Can you hang on 1 second? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Zumi is such a good messenger. Let's talk about that for a second. I know what scares her, right? Because we've hung out for a long time. And we're connected, right? We're connected in so many different ways. And so I know what sets her off. I know what scares her. I know what makes her happy. Like, I know all these things. And it would be purposeless for me to try to force her to be comfortable with something that she is not comfortable with, right? To be like, oh, lay down, like, just chill out, it's fine, like, nothing to worry about. But like, I have an opportunity, because I have the opportunity to be able to soothe her and to give her what she needs to be able to chill out, then I will. And so I guess, Sagittarius, yes, there could be a bit of a fine line with this for some of you, though. Like, for instance, there could be, for some of you at work, there could be something where, like, you're way too in tune with the workplace, unless your job is literally where you're a channeler or like a tarot reader or something, an intuitive, your job, you're a therapist, right? Something along these lines. This is where this is very highlighted, and you're doing very, very well in that. Now, of course, this is also your own intuitive nature is becoming elevated. But if this has to do with where you just have a regular job that is not that, then you have to figure out what your boundaries are with that. Okay? Because that's the best way for you to be successful, right? I would also say there's a need to not take your job home with you, right? Or to not take your personal life into your job. Now, of course, these happen to overlap, but this is where you have to be in tune with, this is that intuitive nature, is in tune with where and when, say, for instance, someone does feel weak. And you can tap into that. You know that they're, again, scared of something. Well, does that have to do with your job? If it doesn't, then focus on your work. If you have the capacity, and this is, say, in a more day-to-day personal, like, say this is your spouse or something like that, someone that's close to you in this way, then that's a different story. Okay, let's keep going. Sagittarius. Ooh, illusion and the death card. Wow, that's, wow. Hold on. Okay, well, death is an illusion. We talked about this I believe it was last August, July or August, where we talked about death and how you feel about that word. Does it bother you? Does it make you scared? Now, of course, this is however much, one can grow in this a certain space in themselves to understand that death just means change, right? Like, I killed all the grass is dead here, and that's why I'm able to plant this garden. But humans still haven't figured out how to deal with death, right? No matter what. It's like one of the biggest tests for us about mortality, if you will. Which basically just means what you can do, what is in your control and what is out of your control. And of course, there are some things that are and are not. Now, I saw the words intuitive, again, intuitive nature. Let's push this out and see what happens. All right, King of Swords and the Shepherd. So, in ways of change, in ways of life and death, birth and rebirth, etc. These bigger things, right? Well, I want you to really think about what you think about that. Not to scare you, not to say that this is necessarily like, is this going to happen? Yes, it happens to everybody, it happens to everything. right? Even every season, the trees lose all their leaves, right? We're always surrounded by this cycle of death and rebirth, right? And to me, usually the death card is a psychological kind of change, right? It's a deeper change. So some of you could even be afraid that you're like, oh my God, am I going to lose my job? Like you are worried about something where you're actually really successful and you're totally protected, but it's like there's still a fear that's illogical. And so it's important here for you to feel logical. And I would also say, again, this is emphasizing that if someone is going through, so I feel like this is you to somebody else. And usually these readings are about you. Take it how you may. But the way I'm seeing it is where it's like, you have there's a very wide outlook on something right now. And although the King of Swords is an air card, to me, he's very quiet. He takes a very long time. He contemplates everything, right? It's like a man. They like think about everything before they say it so that they're not misunderstood, right? Women will just blurt it out because we expect other people to not understand us, right? And we're trying to figure it out by being external, even though we're internal beings. And men are like, masculine energy is external, but they figure it out all internally in a different way, right? So I guess that maybe that's something else for you to consider in your own feminine masculine side, but also dealing with other people, right? Now I would say, what are people's spiritual space in that which you're connected to? What is because this is your reading. Maybe some of you want to have maybe you're praying to God about something, right? The shepherd to me is always, it's very spiritual. And I guess in case Doa told you today, you are safe and loved and protected. Maybe that's something you want to tell yourself. Maybe that's something you want to share with somebody else. That was a mantra that came to me when I was very scared. And although I even forget it sometimes, it can be very helpful. These words are important. Words are very important. And I guess that goes back to the beginning of, remember, your words are very powerful. So maybe you want to be a little bit more selective. And really think about, there's actually, I have this quote, maybe this is something that you could say to yourself. I forget maybe it's Psalms, I can't remember, but may these words of my mouth and this meditation be pleasing in your sight. Right? It's 1914. It's as if, really considering and taking time to process internally before it comes out. I feel like this will also alleviate, right? Because when you're calm, Sagittarius, you are an amazing healer. When you're frantic, right? If one person is scared, right? Say you're the strong one right now. If one person is scared and they express their fear, because we all need each other to help us feel better sometimes, right? Even Jesus asked all his disciples, in his darkest hour, like, please be with me. But it's like if one person is scared, expresses their fear, and then that makes another person afraid, then you have multiple people that are afraid, which doesn't help anything, right? And so you being really zen right now and understanding the power that you have in yourself to be, I see again, didn't we talk about this? Zen. We mentioned this a long time. Zen. Oh my God, that feels so good. Zen. Try that. If you're blind, open up your hands and then put them like you're praying in front of your heart, and then down and then out, back out to your sides. Zen. Okay, let's keep going. Sagittarius. That's an intense card. The world and this... Let me see what this card has to say. It's number 45. What were you doing when you were 45? Are you 45 yet? I feel like something happened when you were 45 or something. 4 or 5 years ago, there was a big cycle and change, right? Okay. Yes, this is perfect. So this card is called Built to Fall. It feels very scorpionic to me. You also have the Death card, which is very scorpionic. That could be something that could be helpful too. It says, for a reconstruction to happen, first we must clear the grounds. Can you see the yarrow? It goes, clear the grounds, right? This means we must deconstruct what was before. This can mean a deep and sometimes startling transformation. If we have been clinging to what is around us, we panic when it starts to fall down. This is an opportunity to completely start over. Wow, how soothing. Now, I would say, as this is, I'm seeing this 4-5 as like your IC. If you don't know what that means, it's like your 4th, 5th house. They call it, it's Ilium Colii, which means your lower heaven, which in some ways can be seen as, right, there's heaven and then hell in our chart, right? There's like this dark, this night and what have you. We all have these parts. The point of the story is that, I guess I keep seeing that one part where it was like, if you have been clinging to what is around you, clinging, right? And you're feeling panic, then this is an opportunity to completely start over. So how are you looking at your future in ways of newness? And I guess with all these cards, you'd want to look at something quite seriously. I mean, for some of you, this could just have to do with some really soulful karma clearing, right? For others of you, this could be, a divorce. For others of you, this could be something, it's something really big, though, with the world. But you know what? Even though you have the world and the Death card, which I guess is, remember, there's a lot of fear in the world right now. I think since, I don't know, hundreds of years now, right? So you being clear and confident in and of yourself and knowing that you are successful, knowing that this life is beautiful, knowing that there's so much that you can do, and you understand how, like, I saw your skill sets, and, as much as death is an illusion, so is success, right? It's all a mentality, that King of Swords. So what is your perception of reality right now? One more time. Monument and the Lover's card. I did just see a gravestone. Maybe this is the end of a connection for some of you. Like with other people. Or there's a big change with that. The deepest cut. Maybe. Let's see what Monument has to say. I know you don't really like talking about heavy stuff. It scares you, right? I'm sorry. It says sometimes we need sometimes we need something bigger than ourselves to find perspective. This card is about connecting with a physical greatness, either man-made or in nature. Have you ever climbed up a high hill where you can see the small world below? Or up in a high building where all the people below look like ants? Our natural and man-made monuments open up our mind to the possibility of creating something bigger. what are the things you find sacred? Like, do you have a special tree you connect to? Or is there a gravestone of your family that you like to go visit? Or a statue or something that has been created? Maybe you want to create something beautiful right now, Sagittarius, right? And remember that all things blossom and fade in their own time, you know? For instance, this oak tree over here, full of leaves, right? The big one in the back here too, that one there, full of leaves now. But the maple and the black walnut and the mimosa they only have little tiny buds right now, right? Everything works in its own time. But I suppose there's certain things that we're not in control of time about, and there are many things that we are in control of. And although you may be able to see certain things, I feel like if any of you are, again, I see this like possession with this Four of Pentacles. If any of you have been clinging to something, I feel like there's a big uncomfortable shift with that. If you've been recognizing this clinging and working on this codependency, if that's something, and you've broken that cycle and gotten out of it, and you're like, yes, doing the good work, then you're gonna be fine. And I feel like there's a lot more acceptance with something. Right, when you realize nothing is yours. Right, because what does Rumi say? If you want to love, then cut off the head of fear. If you want to love, cut off the head of fear. And I do feel as if Cancer's reading could be helpful for you in this time, okay? Yes, the Chariot and shadows. Yes. And maybe please also watching your moon sign, especially if you are a woman. It's how you work internally, you know? It rules the mind and the emotions. And I know sometimes it's hard to trust the changes that are happening, because usually when big changes are happening, it's kind of like, all right, I gotta let go. All right, Saturn. All right, Uranus. Got it. You know, like, you just gotta be like, all right, I accept it. You know, serenity now. And if this is somebody else in your life that's going through this huge change, if that's the case, although please know that this is helping you grow too. It's a lesson for you too. But if that's somebody else, then remember that you have a great capacity to be able to put somebody at ease by listening, by being receptive. But also remember that, again, you may be intuitive and you're kind of like, oh yeah, I know, they need this, I'm going to do this for them. But it's not the point. It's like you have to allow others to do what they will and not interrupt. You know, maybe it's kind of like you want to say something, you want to be like, yeah, this is this and this is that and this is blah, blah, blah. But it may just be wiser for you to step back and to think about yourself right now in a certain way. Hi, Kat. And recognize again where your time and energy is going, because, well, it's Taurus time, right? And in Taurus time, it's a wonderful time to plant seeds, right? May 5th is actually a really good day to plant, the beginning of May there. But maybe the 3rd actually is better in sidereal. But either way, it's an Earth time that's very slow, but it's ruled by Venus. So You want to make sure that you're coming at something very lovingly and faithfully. And I do see, please pay attention to your own finances, and your time, your money, etc. This is going to help. Yep, you move forward, so that when you move forward, you are all set. Yep, definitely, yes. And you know what? If you pay attention that way and you put that in order, then you succeed. Okay? Then you're stable and you're solid, and all that worry, mental, whatever, it's not even there. It's all love. And you have the support that you also need if you are the one going through this change. And I would say, for some of you, again, I feel like Cancer's reading could be very helpful. And I do, especially if any of you are going through some major changes with that which is close to you. Okay? Because right now you're meant to figure out what you're really dedicated to. Okay? And not lie to yourself about, again, if there's any clinging, you gotta be stronger than that. Because I guess you have to be strong for yourself, but that also helps you be strong for other people, especially for those of you this helps the success. Yes. Okay. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having this conversation. I could tell you that everything's going to be okay, but I guess you're the one that has to know that in yourself. You know what I mean? But I do want you to know that we are all safe and loved and protected. If God made us and we go back to spirit, wherever you think we go, heaven or the stardust or whatever you think it is, back to the earth, it's like if the Creator made us, and then that's where we go back to, and the Creator made this earth, then we're never without God. Do you know what I mean? I love you so much. Please take care of yourself. I wish you well with your path and those that you love. And any of you who have also decided to extend your learning and growing and decided to join the Garden of Patreon, thank you so very much. Any of you who I also work with personally or connect with here, your comments and all that, it's really a beautiful thing to be able to connect and thank you for being brave, and patient. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.